Dale, great to see you.
Hey, John, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know we had a few challenges from a scheduling conflict standpoint. That was my fault. Thank you for being willing to be flexible and still come over here and talk to me. I'm with Dale Matheny, who is the COO of Namco Pools. We've really, just talked a little bit about 2020 being unique and how it's pivoted and how all the things. I think as a COO of a company who is running and specifically your people are at people's homes doing things, right? How have you navigated 2020 and what are some things that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, for sure. So we operate 17 retail stores in New England. And so the biggest challenge, as probably comes as no surprise, was COVID hitting in March, right before our season was about to take off. And so we literally went from not knowing whether we were even going to be allowed to open retail stores to having unprecedented demand. And so the biggest thing that we learned is what our systems and what our company was capable of under those conditions. I can say, and our customers would probably echo this, we were not prepared in a lot of ways. And so some of the things that happened that were challenges, breaking our phone system, for example, were also a big blessing to us because exactly, you can imagine in the time where people are nervous, they know that they're trapped at home. We provide products that allow them to enjoy that time at home with their children and work from home. Not being able to get hold of us, and that created some unique customer service challenges. But I will say the positive side of that is that the learning curve was steep, and the customers graciously told us everything that we needed to correct in order to be able to perform under those conditions. And so we feel fairly poised coming out of this summer, kind of assessing the damage and the things that we need to correct, that we have a pretty clear path to do great things for our customers in the future.
You're the first person I've had a chance, as you mentioned, to talk to a few folks. You're the first one to say they broke our phone system, right? That was the amount of demand that was out there for what you were doing. How amazing. So as you go into Q4 and you're looking at the year and those pieces, how has I'm assuming things really kind of idled down for you during this point, maybe not. How has Q4 been specifically?
Yeah, so it is a traditional slowdown for us as a seasonal business, although this year we have unprecedented demand in Q4 as well. Nothing like during season, but still quite high demand as people are still kind of hunkered down, preparing for another year, even though, it sounds like things might relax, mid to late 21. That still provides another season where people are most likely working remote. Children are probably remote schooling and then going to be home, for the summer. So we're planning for that. Like I said, we learned all of the things that we needed to fix. So we're working very hard on that in the background. In the foreground, we're just making sure that we're ready. And so one of our big concerns, which was an issue last year as well, or this current year as well, was the supply chain. The entire industry was limited in what was available because the factories that manufacture the product couldn't even produce. And so if that happens again, we need to be ready for that. So it's altered the way that we phase in our product, for example, and bring it in. We're going to stuff our warehouse pretty full. We're going to make sure our stores are very full so that we can serve those customers. At the end of the day, that's all we want to do is make sure that we have happy customers and we're providing them an outlet that'll allow them to survive with some sanity through this upcoming year.
As you go into 2021, and we talked a little bit before about planning maybe different this time than maybe we've ever done it. As you go into specifically having seen such an uptick. It's so interesting to see how large the winners and losers are in this particular place in history. What are things that you're doing right now from a planning perspective going into 2021?
Yeah, so making sure that we can acquire the product that we're going to need to be able to serve what we predict the demand to be. That's probably the major one. Lots of training and development of the staff as we're operating in ways that we never operated before. We did more phone sales and internet sales this year than we've ever done in the past. We had to implement an entire curbside delivery and pickup process that didn't even exist in March of this year. So it's changed a lot about what we're going to do. But again, the lessons learned were so profound and so clear as to what we needed to do to be able to serve the customers and to perform for them, that now it's up to us to get it done and implement those things.
That's fantastic. So as we finish up, knowing that our time is limited and would love to have more conversations, specifically as we get into April. Now, you may not be available in April at that point, right? It's like, hey, John, there's no chance I can talk in April of things that you're seeing and how those things are continuing to evolve and move. What are pieces as an operator, as somebody who loves operators, because I'm not necessarily one, right? I'm a entrepreneurial kind of whatever that is. My guess is this has been one of those things where it's been just a massive puzzle that you've been able to kind of attack and really put your skill set into. What are things that you've specifically thought about and are going to take forward, right? Just as a leader into 2021.
Yeah. So one of our big challenges is that we have such a distributed footprint. With 17 stores in 17 different markets. And so I think we've learned more than ever how important our processes are. If we can just get everybody to understand kind of doing things the same way, we can provide a more consistent outcome, whether it be in our stores or online. Hopefully those experiences, mesh well together for our customers. But really being able to predictably perform for our customers. And so it all comes back to our processes. And, like I said, some of them were broken because of system constraints or limitations that we had. Some of them just weren't fleshed out well enough. And so we learned that we needed to define those better. And now, in the off season, I'll use air quotes, as we're a little bit slower, it's just really getting everybody on the same page, understanding those processes and then following them so that we can have that consistent experience for our customers.
Dale, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for being flexible and spending some time. Happy holidays to you and your family.
You as well, John. Thanks so much for having us. Have a great day.